From the heart of South Asia to the crossroads of Central Asia, from the turbulent Middle East and North Africa to the power corridors of the West, where narratives collide, perspectives matter, and stories connect. This is Beyond Borders. I am Umar Khalid Butt, and during the course of the show, we'll try to decipher stories in the world without boundaries and borders and bring you issues that really matter in this changing world. We'll begin with what we call region lines or the top stories of the day. We start from South Asia. We're responding sharply to the hostile tone and behavior of the Afghan Taliban regime. Pakistan's Defence Minister Khaja Asif says any terrorist attack or suicide bombing inside Pakistan would be met with a befitting response. Earlier, Information Minister Ataullah Tarar says the latest round of talks between the two countries in Turkey failed to bring about any workable solution. The minister said that Pakistan would continue taking all necessary measures to protect the people from the menace of terrorism. Meanwhile, the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi issues over 2,100 visas to Sikh Pilgrims from India to participate in the birth celebrations of Baba Guru Nanak Dev Ji to be held in Pakistan from the 4th to the 13th of November this year. Moving on to the Middle East, where Israeli attacks across Gaza in the last 12 hours has killed at least 100 Palestinians, including 35 children. Moreover, in an exclusive interview with Pakistan TV, Pakistan's Foreign Office spokesperson Tahir Hussain Andrabi says that Islamabad is considering the option of joining the International Stabilization Force in Gaza for peace and prosperity of the besieged enclave. Meanwhile, more than 300 writers, scholars and public intellectuals have refused to contribute to the editorial pages of the New York Times, accusing the paper of having a deep-rooted anti-Palestine bias. Moving on to the West, US President Donald Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping are set to meet tomorrow for the first time since 2019. Trump has hoped he would be able to strike a good deal with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. And lastly, the Green Climate Fund approves $250 million for a flagship adaptation program that is aimed at building resilient water and agriculture systems for vulnerable communities in the glacier-dependent regions of Central Asia, the South Caucasus, and Pakistan. We'll begin with, of course, the top story of the day, and that is coming from South Asia, and that is, of course, on the Istanbul talks that were being held between Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban. 3 rounds were held, but the rounds were proved to be fruitless, and mostly because, in fact, majorly because of the Afghan Taliban's reluctance to move forward in any direction whatsoever to curb terrorism in any form and its manifestation coming from the Afghan soil into Pakistan. And we all know which are the elements, the Fitna al-Kharij, the Fitna al-Hindustan, that have tried to, or are continuing to try to destabilize Pakistan in different forms and manifestations. To discuss more on this, we've been joined by 2 important guests. Let me introduce them to you one by one. Dr. Maliha Lodhi is a former ambassador to the UN, to the US and to the United Kingdom. She will be part online to discuss on this very important issue. We've also been joined by Brigadier Haris Nawaz, who is a defense analyst, and he'll also be joining us online. We'll begin with Dr. Maliha Lodhi. Dr. Maliha Lodhi, thank you very much to have joined us. Now, quoting our Information Minister Atatar Saab, Pakistan's patience has run its course. If the Taliban, Afghan Taliban, really valued regional security, why have they pushed Islamabad to such a point, to such a corner, where Pakistan now publicly declares that its patience has been exhausted?
Well, its patience has been exhausted for some time now. There's nothing new. This is certainly not breaking news. But I think what is more important is to see what can happen since the talks seem to have failed for now. I believe communication is continuing between the two countries, but the breakdown of the talks is should be of great concern, actually, to both countries. Because look, neither country can afford a breakdown in the relationship. Pakistan, as you know, for over 70 years, pursued a policy which is basic to its defense and foreign policy of trying to avert a two-front situation. Few countries, if any, can have hot borders on 2 sides of the country, which we do today. So we are confronted with a two-front situation. On the one hand, we have an unstable western border with cross-border attacks taking place from Afghanistan soil, And on the other side, as you know, we have Indian hostility and their constant resort to threatening statements by their leadership. So, in this situation, it's imperative for Pakistan to try to diffuse one front. Clearly, we cannot diffuse the Indian front. For obvious reasons, I don't need to go into any explanation of that. But with Afghanistan, I think the talks were driven by this need, one, of course, to stop the attacks by TTP from across the border. And underlying that has been naturally the desire to make sure that that front is neutralized, the western border, that is, and that there is stability on that border. So, really, I think the talks not making progress, of having failed for now, I think does pose a huge policy dilemma for Pakistan.
Dr. Malia Lodhi, there have been two important statements that have come from the Pakistani side following the end of these talks. The first, of course, one came from Information Minister Atatar Saab. The second came from our Defence Minister Khaja Asif Saab. He points out, and I quote, that Pakistan certainly doesn't claim to be an empire, but Afghanistan is definitely a graveyard for its own people. I'd like to understand one thing as far as this quote is concerned. Isn't it an urgent call for introspection within the Afghan Taliban's leadership about who is truly destroying Afghanistan from inside?
As far as the Taliban leadership is concerned, I mean, I would completely agree that they have pursued a policy which has been reckless to the point that they have chosen to sort of, defend and provide a safe haven to a militant group that poses such a huge security threat to Pakistan. So, therefore, I think there is need to return to diplomacy. There is no option but the diplomatic path. War is not a solution. There is no question anywhere in the world, actually, that war achieves any objective other than killing people.
All right, we've also been joined by Mustansir Klasra. He's a political and security analyst. He's right here with us in the studios. Mustansir, thank you very much to have joined us. I'd again like to quote Khaja Asif Saab, who's our defense minister. He says that Pakistan does not require to employ even a fraction of its full arsenal to completely obliterate the Taliban regime. Do the Afghan rulers realize that Pakistan's patience and diplomatic engagement reflect moral strength, not military limitation?
Yes, obviously, I would second Dr. Malia Lodhi as well. She has also rightly pointed out so many things, and the statement of Defence Minister Khaja Asif basically reflects that he has still showed a concern or kind of a statement that we are still giving you much time, we can still give you a room of talks, but if you will provoke us again and again, then I think the state of Pakistan will have to reconsider its military strength as well. But at the same time, but currently, I would say that the patience should not be tested again and again. That's what from my side.
All right. Also, Mustansir, our Minister of Defense says that the Taliban are blindly pushing Afghanistan into yet another conflict just to retain its usurped rule and maintain the war economy. Isn't it clear that Pakistan, on one hand, seeks stability and prosperity for the Afghan people and for the region, while the Afghan Taliban regime thrives on chaos?
Here I would say that when we talk about the Afghan Taliban, there are so many deficiencies in that government, Taliban government as well. At one hand, I would say that they are completely not recognized by the international community. They might have pressure on that side as well, and they have they can have kind of the realization of changing geopolitical dynamics in the region. So all the things, all the matters, they will have to realize the on-ground situation within Afghanistan. They will have to think about the welfare of their own public. Obviously, when we talk about the citizens welfare state, then Taliban regime will have to fulfill all the requirements that any welfare states comply with.
Looking at the statements from Atadar Saab and Khaja Asif Saab, don't you feel that Pakistan has attained its limit of patience when it comes to what has been happening from the Afghan side and the resolve to defend the sanctity and the sovereignty of our people is supreme when it comes to Pakistan? Doesn't the Afghan Taliban government realize that?
I think Afghan Taliban should, they're unable to realize right now. There are so many reasons, but they will have to come on the table. They will have to abide by the compulsions that may occur from the Afghan soil. Yeah, and yes, obviously, the information minister rightly pointed out that Pakistan's patience and Pakistan's determination should not be tested again and again. And obviously, when anything, the prosperity of Afghanistan, Pakistan quoted so many times, the prosperity of Afghanistan, prosperity of Afghan people is in the interest of Pakistani people and Pakistani government as well. So if they are kind of testing the patience of Pakistani government, I think they did not have the realization yet of this matter.
Also, all right. Dr. Malia Lodhi, I'm sure you must be still with us. If the Afghan Taliban or the Afghan Taliban government truly claim that they have no control over the TTP, which they have been saying time and again, and they also say that it's an internal issue of Pakistan, why have multiple TTP leaders, including Noor Wali, have pledged allegiance directly to Hibatullah Akhundzada?
I don't think we need to worry about that. I think Pakistan should be confident in its security apparatus. We've already shown in our conflict with India what we're capable of doing. So I don't think we should be too worried about what they're doing in their social media accounts. In fact, the amount of lies the Indians have told, not just on social media, but their officials continue to resort to lies about what actually happened in the May conflict. So I would not focus on this. I think I would keep my focus on the real issue. The real issue is, how do we get the Taliban leaders to respond to Pakistan's entirely reasonable concern and insistence that they should rein in, demobilize, and check the TTP so that Pakistan's border is not under threat and we are not losing casualties almost every day because of these cross-border attacks by TTP.
Brigadier Haris Nawaz, who's a defense analyst, joins us online. Brigadier Sahab, thank you very much to have joined us. I'll again refer to, the tweets by Minister Tatar and Minister Khaja Asif Saab, but this time Minister Khaja Asif Saab, who says that we have borne your treachery and mockery for too long, but no more. Do you feel the message has been received by the Afghan Taliban side of Pakistan's shift towards decisive action, that they will no longer let Afghan soil be used against Pakistan?
Umar, the point is Pakistan government has been always talking to them very politely, with reasoning, with only one demand, that please don't let your land be used by any terrorist organization against Pakistan. And they have been saying, okay, we will ensure. Foreign Minister China, Pakistan or Afghanistan met in China. Again, they agreed. There was a statement here that Amir has said any jihad against Pakistan is haram. That was also said, but physical manifestation is not there. We have lost so many soldiers, officers, our Pashtuns in KPK, but despite all the respect, nothing has happened. And then, of course, when Muttaqi went to India, he was giving very nasty statements, and he was giving nasty statements against Kashmir also. And then from there, sitting there, they attacked a few posts and retaliation. We then, of course, captured their 22 posts, and we killed their so many 200 around people, Talibans, Afghan Taliban, and also Farjis. But then they asked for ceasefire, they raised the white flag, they requested ceasefire, they wanted to negotiate, and they've asked Qatar and I would say Saudi Arab that we want the negotiations. So we accepted it. The point is then when you sit across the table, you should be very reasonable. And with one focus that we want to negotiate and find some solution. If you are very insultive, you go very hyper, you use very abusive languages, you don't know how to tackle and sit as on the negotiation table, it's very disturbing. Even then, we kept quiet. And then, but when for everything, when you're finally you again contact Kabul and then Kabul get, I think, talk to India, you think India is their well-wisher. India is only exploiting you against Pakistan because they want to secure Operation Sindoor with Pakistan, which they can't. They have lost. Then they should imagine if Pakistan forces had played hell with so big Indian army, then Afghan army is very weak. But the only thing is we are avoiding miseries to the Afghan people. They suffered a lot. That's the reason we have been talking to them. And we have been talking all the time. And we have been assuring them, we give them all logistic support. We give them all Afghan transit. We have never stopped anything. But then you don't understand and you're speaking the language of Indian who are number one enemy. That's what we are saying now. Out of frustration, defense minister said. Still, I feel if we go for bare minimum kinetic operation like a surgical strike and some drones, but again the peace process should continue. I feel China, Iran should come forward. Iran is a main stakeholder. They should again make sit Pakistan and Afghanistan together and find some solution. It is your responsibility. It is your government that you have to ensure TTP doesn't cross towards Pakistan terrorist activity. Whatever is you have an ideology, whatever it is, keep in your country, keep them away. Whatever they want to do, we have no business. But if you cross from your side, then that means it has your tasted approval. That's what we say, and that we are now very uncomfortable. Enough is enough. And then we can go out and strike their training camps. We can go for the administrative camps. We can go and kill their commanders. That's what we have to do. Only then they will be sorted out. But then miseries are going to be for the Afghan people. If we go and chop logistic support and we don't give Afghan transit, what happens? They will have a lot of problems. It is illegitimate government, Afghan Taliban regime. They don't have an ethnic balanced government. They don't have a politically inclusive government. They don't have representation of ethnic Hazaras, Uzbeks, Tajiks, and they are not pushed to Afghan people. They are only worried to make money, fill your pockets with money, enjoy the life. Let the Afghan people go to hell. This is not the way. I think Afghan people have to think and decide what they want. That's the issue with us.
About the Afghan Taliban wanting money, and that brings me to another assumption that is making the rounds a lot within the circles in the region. And they say that the Taliban regime has reportedly offered to relocate the TTP or the Fitna al-Kharij militants within Afghanistan for money. On the one hand, they say that, they are not under our control, they are not within our territory, and this is Pakistan's internal problem. On the other hand, they say, give us money and we'll relocate them. I don't understand what they're trying to get as far as Pakistan is concerned. What's your take on that?
You see, this is what, and they deny that their TTP is not there. Look at them. All the time they cross. We've given them proof, written, video, audios, everything we've given. And they accept it. And they say, if we write, that means we have accepted publicly. That's the issue. The point is, okay, you say, if you cannot control them, they are beyond your control. You have the same ideology. You say, okay, but Pakistan can go for surgical strikes. Pakistan can go for drone attack. Whatever you want to go for it, we will not object to it. At least say this, on this you don't agree. And then you say, we have told them to, okay, settle them somewhere else. We have no issue. Go for it. We'll give you money. They don't accept. But they accept Indian money. They want India, and they've been talking the way they've been supporting Kashmir cause. They've been talking about Pakistan. I mean, look at them. We have been giving you all support against Russians, against Americans. Then when the Americans were leaving Kabul, we supported, we did a lot of diplomatic effort. We wanted to get to $9 billion, which have been frozen. And we helped you in evacuation of so many persons of Afghans. We did everything. And still, The whole world, even not one country has recognized them, even India. And you are not realizing that you can't live out of the community of nations. You have to take understand. That's what the people of Afghan must realize now. Then they should bring a change, bring a democracy, select the right people whom you want so that they develop diplomatic relationship with the world. Afghan people can't suffer all the time. It's 4 decades. That's the issue. And they're not realizing. I think we are right up to our necks. We have lost so many soldiers and very good officers. And we lost so many our Pashtun brothers. We are not accepted anymore. And we are capable of doing it. If we can sort out Indians with so many might of military and also air force, then Afghan Taliban are nothing. They must realize. And we are not going to go and attack on their country. They can ambush our forces or they can go hit and run for raids. We will use our own other means or technology means. They must understand. They must understand a decent language. We want to have the best of relationship with Afghanistan. We don't want to please Indians, and they're waiting for that moment when we start fighting each other. That is what Afghan government should understand. I wish the early they understand, the better is before things are too late.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, sir, to continue to join us. It's an important topic, and I want as many points of views as possible, perspectives as possible, so that we can better understand where they are coming from, why things are moving in the direction from the Afghan Taliban side at least. Dr. Maliha Lodhi, Taliban's refusal to recognize the Durand Line, what and how does this affect the prospects for border security and counter-terrorism cooperation when it comes to Pakistan?
Well, listen, different governments have said this in the past also. The border between Pakistan and Afghanistan is a reality, has been a reality, and will continue to be a reality. So again, we shouldn't get caught up in statements that are meant to, sort of put pressure on us or try to say things in a way to annoy us. Nobody can change this border. You can't change geography. You can't change reality. So this I wouldn't bother with very much.
Haris Nawaz, I'd like to understand, under the current context, I mean, we've seen two mediators helping the situation or helping, control the situation. But of course, the reluctance from the Afghan Taliban side says a lot of things. What should be, you talked about the role of Iran and other countries, but which country can really exert the pressure when it comes to Afghanistan? We've heard Donald Trump say that he can resolve this issue. Can he?
He is the first country, American, because they have created this fuss while leaving Afghanistan. And we should be very loud and clear to Americans. Leaving $7.2 billion weapons and ammunition in the country unattended means they wanted it should fall into the hands of all terrorist organizations, and Pakistan should have a very difficult time. The turbulence should remain in Afghanistan. The more Afghanistan troublesome, the more terrorist organization, the more difficult to make CPEC and operational command. This it's very simple. Chinese are working in Afghanistan. Chinese are working in Afghanistan. They're giving a lot of money. Not even one Chinese has been killed in Afghanistan. The day Chinese worked in CPEC, they were all attacks. Things are very clear.
All right. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, thank you very much. As far as this story is concerned, kindly stay with us because we've got lots more to discuss with you as well as with Dr. Maliha Lodhi. Let's go to our second story, and that concerns Pakistan issuing visas to Sikh pilgrims on the birth anniversary of Baba Guru Nanak. That is happening in the month of November. And the fact is that Pakistan has always been very compliant to the Sikh community, whether it be the corridors, whether it be helping the Sikhs come to Pakistan. And Pakistan has always helped them and treated them like brothers, unlike our neighbor India, that has not really responded in kind whenever it comes to Pakistan or Pakistan's overtures to handle important issues or other such prospects. We have now been joined by Sardar Ramesh Singh Arora Sahab. He is Punjab Minister for Minorities Affairs. Sardar ji, thank you very much to have joined us. Pakistan's facilitation of Sikh pilgrims, what does this reflect as far as the broad commitment to interfaith harmony and religious inclusivity by Pakistan in the region is concerned?
Bhatam, thank you very much, and I really appreciate particularly your question on the topic that see inclusivity and diversity. We don't only believe on inclusivity and diversity, rather we celebrate inclusivity and diversity. And the opening of Kartarpur corridor is a great example of that. And the Chief Minister of Punjab categorically says in her speech, wherever she talks about, particularly about the minorities, that minorities are my pride. And either it's Christmas, it's Easter, it's Baisakhi, it's birthday celebration of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, it's Holi or Diwali. So Chief Minister would personally go and meet with the minority people and celebrate all those days with them. Likewise, the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So when we talk about particularly the Sikh diaspora or our Sikh brothers and sisters who live in India and they want to come to Pakistan. So when there was a conflict between India and Pakistan in May, so Indians said that we are going to stop our citizens not to go to Pakistan and we will not issue visa to any Pakistani. And the same vice versa from the Pakistan side that we will not issue visas to any Indian. Despite of that, they said, but we will continue to issue visa to our brothers and sisters who are from the Sikh faith because we believe that the foundation of the Sikhism is in Pakistan and they can come anytime.
All right. Also, Mr. Arora, what does the 1974 bilateral protocol on visits to religious shrines, continues to be important as far as this or this protocol is concerned as a bridge for peace and for people to build contact between both Pakistan and India?
I strongly believe that 1974 protocol between India and Pakistan to send yatris from Pakistan to India to go to the religious shrines of Muslims. Likewise, our Sikh brothers and sisters and our brothers from the Hindu community, if they want to come to Pakistan to pay homage to the Sikh shrines, and our Hindu brothers and sisters, they want to pay homage to the mandirs which are located here in Pakistan. So I think this will add more value when we talk about the people-to-people contact, and when we talk about the peace and coexistence. So certainly, it's the contribution of this 1974 bilateral protocol. I think it's something which will add more value and it will bring people closer to them and it will work particularly on the peace building and and give a fair chance to citizens of both the countries to interact with each other.
Final question, Arora Saab, concerns, corridors like the Kartarpur corridor that you yourself mentioned, and this visa facilitation regime that Pakistan has always been very proactive for as far as the Sikh community is concerned. How do these two measures contribute towards soft diplomacy and, of course, towards regional stability?
I strongly believe that the Kartarpur corridor, it is a great testament from the Pakistani side, because it is contributing a lot on the peace building. And I still remember the words of the United Nations Secretary General when he visited Pakistan. He categorically said that I would not call it only Kartarpur corridor, rather I would call it peace corridor, because here I can witness people from different faith, they're together in one compound. So it means Kartarpur is a great gift from the government of Pakistan for the Sikh brothers and sisters living worldwide, and Pakistan had opened this corridor for the Sikh devotees who want to come to Pakistan, and 5,000 can come to Pakistan every day. But unfortunately, from 7th of May 2025, it is closed from the Indian side, and they don't allow anyone to cross the border and come to Pakistan via Kartarpur corridor. So it is sad, and we have demanded that our brothers and sisters, if they want to come to Pakistan, they must be allowed to come to Pakistan. And I strongly believe that Kartarpur corridor is playing and will play towards the peace building.
Thank you very much, Sardar Ramesh Singh Arora, Saab, Punjab Minister for Minorities Affairs, talking to us about the visa facilitation regime that Pakistan continues to initiate for the Sikh brethren to come for the birth anniversary of Baba Guru Nanak Ji. Now, let's take you now to the Middle East and North Africa. Now, the fact is that despite a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, the brutalities continue. More than 100 people have been killed on the Palestinian side. A lot of question marks arise out of the whole situation. More in the following report.
In a powerful act of protest, more than 300 prominent writers, scholars, and cultural figures, including over 150 contributors to the New York Times, have announced a collective boycott of the paper's opinion section, denouncing its biased and complicit coverage of Israel's war on Gaza. The signatories, among them journalists, novelists, poets, and academics, include renowned figures such as Naomi Klein, Arundhati Roy, Michelle Alexander, Viet Thanh Nguyen, and Rashid Khalidi. They accuse the New York Times of legitimizing Israeli war crimes, silencing Palestinian voices, and reducing genocide to a matter of opinion rather than an undeniable fact. The group has pledged to withdraw from contributing to the paper's opinion section until it takes accountability and reforms its editorial practices. The statement condemns the New York Times for publishing unverified Israeli claims, censoring critical terminology like occupation and ethnic cleansing, and sidelining Arab and Muslim journalists. The writers argue that the paper's coverage has long contributed to justifying Israel's ongoing atrocities in Gaza, where more than 2 years of bombardment, siege, and starvation have left the territory devastated. Their three main demands include a review of anti-Palestinian bias and reform of editorial standards, the retraction of the discredited report Screams Without Words, and an official editorial call for a U.S. arms embargo on Israel. Meanwhile, the international community, including Pakistan, is stepping up efforts to restore peace in Gaza. Pakistan has strongly condemned Israel's renewed attacks as blatant violations of international law and the recent peace agreement. Reaffirming solidarity with the Palestinian people, Pakistan will attend a foreign ministers' meeting in Turkey next week to reinforce the Gaza peace plan, urging an immediate ceasefire, humanitarian aid, reconstruction, and concrete progress toward a lasting two-state solution.
Brigadier Haris Nawaz, I'd like to understand in this very context, Pakistan's role in this conflict has been very proactive. It was also part of the 20-point plan. The countries that were part of discussing this 20-point plan with Donald Trump as well. Under the whole situation, there's also the statement that recently comes from the Foreign Office that says that Pakistan might be the part of this force that will take over Gaza once the ceasefire is properly implemented. How do you see Pakistan's role and the role of the Pakistani forces if they do take part and become part of this force?
Umar, let me tell you first, I think Pakistan's role during the whole this episode has been fantastic. They have done a lot of work and they've been very openly supporting Gaza and Palestinians, whether it is the government of Pakistan or it is the Field Marshal Sayyid Asim Munir. And they've been talking very loud and clear. They talked in General Assembly, they talked in Doha when Israel attacked Qatar. Even then, he spoke very loud and clear. He rather mentioned a lot of measures to be taken against Israel. He talked in General Assembly. Then when the 8 or 12 Islamic countries sat there, again he was supporting over there. Everywhere, Pakistan rose well above the board. And if we can compare all Arab countries and Islamic countries, I think Pakistan was standing out. And it is beyond doubt. The issue is that now we showed some laxity in Doha when Israel attacked Qatar. If that was a time, if the whole Arab world and Islamic world, they could have stood together and showed some strength, then Israel would have really come on ease. There we just gave a Pakistan spoke loud and clear. And today, Mr. Trump was saying, I support Israel because Hamas is violating. Hamas, what they're doing it? Nothing. The problem is 8 to 10 dead bodies. They're not finding it difficult to recover. Give them more time. You have killed yourself those bodies, living person, and then you have laid a lot of mind over there. So they take
that a lot of onus of the responsibility now lies on the Western countries, specifically the US, in order to stop Israel from doing whatever it is doing, and the brutalities that are totally in opposition to this ceasefire agreement that has been signed and agreed upon by both the Israeli and the Palestinian side. Thank you very much, Brigadier Haris Nawaz Saab, to have joined us, to have been constantly there with us during the entirety of the show. Mustansir Klasra, Israel is looking for any pretext, small or big, to continue to bombard Gaza, and we have seen in the examples more than 100 people have been killed as well recently. What does this point towards as far as Israel's negation or refusal maybe to accept the points of the ceasefire agreement?
I think it's enough is enough, because you have just argued with the Brigadier Haris Nawaz that the onus lies to the Western international community, particularly Western community, because when Israel does anything militarily in Gaza, that if anybody if any expert denies the role of Western community in this issues, then I personally, my point of view is that without the intentions of the Western community, or without the at least the backing of the Western community, Israel is completely unable to do that, because you can see the geographical location of it lies on the center of the Middle East. And secondly, our guests once said that Israel and the Western community will have to abide by the kind of ceasefire agreement, because it ultimately, if ceasefire agreement is violated by the Israeli community, then I think that questions the so-called civilization. The Westerns say that they are so-called civilized.
So there are so many questions, from the and a lot of responsibility that, as I said, lies on the Western community and the Western powers that be and the allies of Israel to do the needful to stop Israel from doing whatever it is doing. Dr. Malia Lodhi, thank you for being so patient with us throughout the show as well. President Trump, Dr. Saiba, insists that nothing will jeopardize the truce. How credible can this claim be when we have seen recently 100 people being killed by the Israelis?
Well, it just shows you that he is speaking with a forked tongue. That's the most polite way that I can put it. It seems that the US is unable to put the kind of pressure, and it tries to change the facts on the ground. When people are killed, they're killed. But to pretend that this is not happening, I think is a travesty with the truth. Plus, President Trump has also said that he has no problem and will permit Israel to carry out attacks if Israel feels that the ceasefire agreement is being violated. I mean, what can one say to this? This is contrary to the facts. This is contrary to the truth. The reality is that Israel doesn't seem to be interested in peace. The reality is that Israel continues to kill, maim Palestinians, and to deprive them of desperately needed assistance. These are realities. I mean, if somebody wants to, live in an alternate universe, well, good luck to them.
Thank you very much, Dr. Malia Lodhi, to have joined us. Thank you very much, Brigadier Haris Nawaz Saab, to have joined us. And thank you very much, Mustansir Klasra, to have joined us as well. Kindly stay online with us, in the studios with us, for just 2-3 more minutes to land the show. Let's take you now to the West. Now, the first important story when it comes to the West is this meeting that is going to be held between Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, and Donald Trump, the US president. Donald Trump says that he expects the meeting with Xi Jinping to go very well and might last up to a couple of hours. The spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that by mutual agreement between China and the US, President Xi Jinping will be meeting with the US President Donald Trump in Busan on the 30th of October, of course, as it's located in South Korea, to exchange views on China-US relations and issues of mutual concern. all eyes will continue to remain as far as this is concerned, because this is going to be an extremely important meeting, not only in the whole realm of geostrategy, geopolitics, but also geoeconomics and the trade relations between the US and China. It seems that if this, this is what a lot of analysts say, that if things go in the right direction, it might pave the way for a lot of good things to happen in the region, in the world, and between China and the US. We all hope for that. Last story, it concerns Central Asia. Let's take you there. Now, the Green Climate Fund, ladies and gentlemen, has approved $250 million for the Glaciers to Farms program. Now, this program is a major climate adaptation that is being led by the Asian Development Bank to strengthen water and agriculture systems in glacier-dependent regions of Central Asia, the South Caucasus, and Pakistan. This program is going to span 9 countries: Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan, which will focus on 4 glacier-fed river basins: the Nalian, the Pianj, the Kura, and the Swat, which will cover nearly 27 million hectares and will directly benefit about 13 million people, especially farmers and vulnerable mountain communities. This is, of course, extremely important in this era of climate change that is affecting so many countries. Let's see how this also will affect in a positive way all of these different countries. This, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of today's Beyond Borders. We've taken you beyond all the borders. We've talked about stories that pertain to the entire world, and we'll continue to do that in the days and the weeks to come as well, in order for you to understand properly how things are moving forward. And we all hope and pray for a world that is peaceful for all, for our future generation to prosper themselves in. Allah Hafiz.